Hey everybody, I'm Amanda with DevExpress and welcome to What's New in VCL 18.2 presented by DevExpress CTO Julian Bucknall. In this session, Julian will show providing support for right-to-left languages, Google and Microsoft online storage classes, a much improved FlowChart control, a formula bar for the spreadsheet, as well as performance improvements there and across the board. This session is being recorded and it will be made available on our DevExpress YouTube channel later today. And we will also send the link to the recording in a follow-up email sometime next week. We will also do a live Q&A at the end of this presentation. Just type your questions in the GoToWebinar control panel at any time throughout the broadcast. All right, thank you so much for joining us. I will now hand things over to Julian.
Thank you, Amanda, and welcome everybody to what's new in version 18.2 of our VCL subscription. There is a lot to show, so without further ado, I should say, let's go straight in. The first thing I want to briefly recap is a quick frequently asked question type page. When, where, and how. When is it available? Where do I get it? How do I download it? Which versions of RAD Studio, etc. are supported? Well, at the moment, it's going to be available as a proper release maybe later this week. We'll see. The team are working hard on it at the moment. So at the moment, it's just a beta. Where do I get it? Well, that's easy. You just basically log in to your download center. So go to your DevExpress account, type in your email and password, and you can then click the My Downloads button up here on the page. And as you scroll down, you can open up VCL Subscription and you can see the version which I'm going to be showing you today, which is version 18.2.1, which we released a couple of weeks ago on the 21st of November. Just download it. Notice here we have the major changes link, so you can go and see what major changes have been done for version 18.2. There's also a change logs link as well, so you can see what has changed between version 18.1 and 18.2. And in fact, the way we set up that particular page is you can see the changes from any version that you're currently using to version 18.2. So without further ado then, download it, play around with the beta for sure. As I say, the release should be pretty soon. A couple of gentle reminders here. Strictly speaking, version 18.2 is for RAD Studio 2010 or later only. The rich edit is a little special case. It needs XE+, but if you're doing 64-bit C++ builder, then XE8 or above. Recommendation at the moment is to use RAD Studio Tokyo 10.2x. Now, I know that Embarcadero released Rio last week. Currently, the beta, I'm saying, does not support Rio, but it probably does. I don't know. As I say, I'm using it. I don't have Rio downloaded at the moment. Various reasons there. I won't go into them. But Rio support should be available pretty quickly. Let's put it like that. So, new features and enhancements. First, a quick overview before I jump in with the various demos that I do have. Now, we're proud to announce here that we've been adding support for right-to-left languages, or RTL, to our controls. Feature requested by what I may call a very vocal subset of our customers, and we hope that this support will be welcomed by them. It's very much a work in progress. I hasten to add, it's not finished. But already we have right-to-left support for grid, tree list, layout, tiles, scheduler, navbar, and page tab controls, and the majority of our editors. Unfortunately, this is a webinar about demos, I do not have the knowledge or experience of any right-to-left languages to be able to show you what it looks like. I'd have to change my laptop here to, do Hebrew or Arabic of some description, and then I'd be lost. Anyway, next up, we have a storage component. Gives the ability to manage files and folders on Google Drive. and Microsoft OneDrive. I'll be showing you that. FlowChart control has been enhanced drastically by basically stealing all the work from our WinForms team. 70 plus new shapes, including basic, flowchart, arrow, decorative, SDL, diagram shapes, and so on. New ribbon-based designer, auto routing of connectors using an A-star algorithm, shape rotation capabilities, and so on. Oh boy, the A-star algorithm. I remember writing about that in my distant past for the Delphi magazine. I wonder how many of our attendees here remember the Delphi magazine. I think I wrote an article about the A-star algorithm. Anyway, glad to see we're using it. Spreadsheet, getting some love too. There's a formula bar like in Excel, document-based report link to use predefined report areas, titles, and so on and so forth. New style galleries, and I'll be showing you those. Rich Edit also gets those style galleries. The PDF viewer continues to grow and improve. We have semi-transparent text, which is really groovy. We can display widget annotations, content of interactive form fields, and for those times when your page or thumbnail gets rendered and it takes a long time, we can give you the ability to display a replacement image or text while that is happening, kind of in progress or being rendered or something like that. Vertical grid and tree list, we're snagging more of those filtering capabilities from the grid. So we have filter drop downs with search capabilities, myriad options there to customize display and behavior. And our entity mapping framework, or ORM, is further enhanced with field expressions, parameterized queries, sorting, grouping, support for master detail relationships. I have no idea what top skip query clauses are. Oh, top, yes, duh. Of course I know what that is. Skip, I'm not quite sure. I'll have to look up my SQL Server library. And the team has managed to slip in a slide to talk about FireMonkey. Well, here's a scoop. We're getting very close to being able to release a CTP version of our FireMonkey grid control. But obviously, we've had to concentrate on VCL 18.2 first. Now, CTP here means a very early beta. It's certainly not ready for production, and it will not have, in its initial incarnation, every single feature from our now 20-year-old VCL grid. Yes, DevExpress is 20 years old. In fact, it was 20 years old last month. And our first product was a grid for VCL. Now, we'll need feedback once you've tried it out, once we release the CTP and once you've played around with it, what you like, dislike, what features you need that are missing, what other controls, editors that are essential for a grid, and so on and so forth. Based on that feedback and our own internal plans, you can expect a fuller beta, maybe even a release by 19.1, but I'm not promising anything. We'll see. Stay tuned. Expect the CTP before Christmas if everything goes well. So I'll just leave it like that for the moment. So DevExpress VCL 18.2, time for some in-action demos. What I'm going to do is bring over the VCL demo application. And right to left was the first thing on my list. As I said, we've added right to left language support and a whole list of controls. What I can do here is basically just show you what that looks like at the present moment. So this is some kind of Arabic. As I say, I was not enamored of changing my PC to show a right to left language because I'm not very good at it. So if you're into right to left, please take a look and see what you can do with it in your applications. Okay, OneDrive, yes, or cloud data access, I should say. I'm going to show you our new storage component. This allows users to manage files and folders on Google Drive and Microsoft OneDrive cloud services. So the very first thing that happens here is the demo is going to ask for my client application credentials. 2 tabs, as you see, one for Microsoft, one for Google. I'm going to use OneDrive. I don't use Google Drive here, so I'm going to just do this off screen, if you don't mind. I don't want this to be recorded for later hacking. We've been having some real fun hacks in the past few days, so I don't want us to participate in those. So I'm just logging in here with my credentials. And it's going to say sign into your account. I'm going to use another account because that's where I have something. This is my personal account. And Microsoft is saying, well, do you really want this application to access my files and folders? And I'm going to say yes. And here we are. We have a basic File Explorer light screen. So we have the file tree over here. Whoops, where's my mouse? There it is. We have the files tree. We have recent files, things that have been shared with me. I'm just going to click on the files item here, and you can see the files and folders in the root of my own particular OneDrive, and I can basically then drill down. So what's DevExpress got in it? It's got a VCL thing with nothing in it. Test Cafe, which is another one of our items. So as you can see, the cloud data access, we're now providing the storage component, gives you the ability to add support for OneDrive and Google Drive within your application. At this point, I'd have to say that adding support for other cloud services, in addition to Google Drive and OneDrive, will require implementation of new authorization agents and so on and so forth. Personally, as you can see from here, I don't really use OneDrive all that much. I don't think I've got anything in my pictures. Ooh, DX Travel. What's in there? Nothing. I don't really use OneDrive. It's just there because I have Office 365. I use Dropbox way more, so I'm going to wait for the team to add Dropbox support, and then you'll see a lot more fun stuff. Doing so is not a small task, so it's definitely something that we're going to be doing in a major release in the future, and not just slip it into some minor release later on in early 2019. Next up, I want to show off the FlowChart control. Man, I'm going to need more coffee here. Here, we've decided to make some major changes and enhancements to our FlowChart control, basically stealing stuff from our other teams. There are over 70 new shapes here, so let me show you the arrow shapes. Oh, we've got all those. Yeah, we need those. Decorative shapes. What else? We've got diagram shapes and software icons. So you can see the various shapes that we have added to the FlowChart control. There's a new ribbon-based designer here. So here we are on the design page. The design ribbon. And we've added things like better support for rotation, drag and drop of your controls and so on, so your shapes and so on and so forth. So have a play, especially if you're using the FlowChart control at the moment. See what new items you'd like to see and see how they work for you. Lots of fun icons and shapes in that. Next up is, let me talk about the spreadsheet control. First thing to show here is the new document-based reporting. So if I jump over to page layout, I can open up the page setup dialog here. So as you see, we can set the page information, the various print areas that we're going to be doing. We're going to be printing that area. Print titles, you can repeat a few rows at the top of the page and the columns on the left of the page. So what are we saying? Columns B and C are going to repeat it on every page. The rows repeat at the top are 2 and 4, or 2 through 4, I should say. And then we can add grid lines and things like that, whether it's black and white or and so on and so forth. This one I really like, the page order. You know, yeah, it's kind of fun. You can do it that way around, or maybe print that way around. Let's show it on the print preview just for so you can see what I'm talking about. So here we're on the print preview. We have too many columns to fit in one page. So as I scroll down through the pages, you can see the columns are getting repeated. The first 2 columns are getting repeated. Oh, it's set on grid lines, which makes it really yucky and horrible. And as I continue, you can see we're now in the bottom half of the spreadsheet, and so on and so forth. So let's have a quick look now at the let's jump over here. Let's cancel that. Jump over to this particular demo. What I want to show you here is the new formula bar. So let's go over here, and here we are, standard looking formula bar. I can start typing, and as you see, as I start typing something, I'm going to go for a sum. You can see there's a drop down, and I can hover over that particular item there. Sums all the specific numeric values, some if, some squares, which is sometimes interesting. The other interesting point is I can click on the FX icon here, and what I get here is a searchable categorized set of formulas. And as you see up here, those same formulas are shown, or categories of formulas, I should say, are shown. I can't show you that until I click on that. So here we are. So there's that particular item. So some kind of nice thing about this is the ability, just like in Excel, to basically drag and close off and press enter. There's a sum of all those, the exports is that. Now you've also noticed that, you know, some of these UI elements are now represented as galleries. So if I go back to the print options thing here, click on page layout and bring up, no, I don't want to bring up that. So the margins, for example, we're showing a gallery of, you can put inside your own application, a gallery of what it looks like, quickly looks like. We'll see a bit more of this when we go into the rich edit. But if I go back over here and I go into, let's see, conditional formatting, so let me grab something here. These galleries show you essentially what it looks like, or what it shall look like if you select one of these particular items. And I say the galleries are now available for you to add to your own applications using the spreadsheet. Along with all that, we've made some what I might call hidden improvements, mainly to do with performance. So the UI itself it's about 2 times faster than it was before. Array formulas are calculated way faster, 10 times faster. And we've improved the performance when displaying merged cells, where text is wrapped on multiple lines, say, and especially when it includes Asian type glyphs and characters. So let me jump over to the rich edit now. So it's a quick one here. It's again, mostly about the new style galleries that you can use inside your application. So have a look at the styles drop down here. What we have is, it shows a thumbnail of what the style actually looks like. So we have blues for the headings here, and we have this huge font for the title. We have underlines for these particular styles and so on and so forth. So as you can see, those are now available for you. And if I click on the table and go to the design, the table styles also show that same look and feel that you're used to with, you know, say Microsoft Word. So you can see the different styles you can use for the tables as a thumbnail. The tree list vertical grid, tree list and vertical grid. So what we have here is a set of enhancements to the filtering for the tree view and the property grid or vertical grid. So what I'm showing here is so basically we're snagging filtering capabilities from the grid and adding them to the tree list and to the vertical grid. So if I click on here, yes, I can you know, select various items, but say I was looking for managers or something like that. So I start typing M-A, oops, let me start that again, M-A, start that again. I'm in the wrong, excuse me a moment. And as I'm typing, I get to the, let's say, quality assurance. Let's type quality. There we go. Quality assurance. Q. I'm sorry about that. It's much easier at that particular point to snag a particular item without having to search through the whole lot to find that particular item. So if I go to here and I was looking for Colorado, oh, it's pretty much there. Let's go for Washington. There we are, Washington. I just typed in a W and there it showed. I can do incremental filtering as well, which makes it even easier. I can type in MAN. Oh, I'm seeing all the managers now. Or if I go over here and do the same thing, say, starting with M, there you see the states that start with M in this particular table. So there's incremental filtering, multi-select of filter items, and it's a lot easier to use the tree view as well as the property grid or the vertical grid with the filtering that we've snagged from the grid. Next up, the PDF viewer. Quick one, this one. We now support semi-transparent text. Let me grab hold of the, here we are, transparency groups. Let me grow this full size so we have a better look at it. So we have basically a bunch of transparent text here. And as you can see through the transparent text, you can see the background. So we're supporting that feature of PDFs inside our PDF viewer. There's also the content of form fields. We can show you the content of form fields within the PDF as well. We don't allow for changes at the moment with the PDF viewer to, say, fill in a form, but you know, it's one of those things that we're going to get to eventually. And there's also the ability to display a replacement image or text while the PDF viewer is rendering a page or a thumbnail for a page. So here pretty quick actually on my machine for showing this kind of oops, there it is, and the arrival card. So that's, you know, pretty much it. I've been very quick about the demos that I wanted to show. That's about it for the VCL. As I said, our entity mapping framework has changed as well. We've added further support for, but it's not really a visual type thing. So what I'm going to do is go off the beaten track a little bit. So wait a little moment. I'm going to change presenter. I'm going to change presenter to myself. And what I'm going to do is show you. Just going to make sure I'm showing the right thing. So here I am on my MacBook Air. Right. Let's go to Dropbox and a little demo. Yes, I'm on a Mac and I'm showing a demo of our new FireMonkey grid. It's showing a master detail at the moment. Basically, we're showing a it's basically our realtor real estate demo. We have realtors and the properties they're selling. So it's showing the master detail facilities of the new FireMonkey grid. So this is pre-CTP because we're not, we haven't got it out at the moment. But just wanted to show you that yes, there is a FireMonkey grid. And yes, it's showing the data that we have in one of our other demos, and we have things like the ability to resize. We have the ability to, well, let's sort the grid by particular columns and so on and so forth. So just a quick sneak peek at our new FireMonkey grid. So let me change the presenter back to where I was before. And let me, there we go. And with that, I am finished with my presentation this morning. So let me just show the slide. Thank you. And Amanda, what's been happening in the background as I've been fluffing the various demos?
Hey, Julian. Well, not much.
Oh.
No questions as of yet.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good news, I must say. I will hasten to add that please do go and check the what's new for version 18.2. The easiest way to get to that is devexpress.com/new, and you know there'll be a button there that says VCL, so click on that. As I said, we'll be releasing it within days, and thank you very much.
Perfect. All right, everybody. Like I mentioned before, today's webinar will be made available later on our DevExpress YouTube channel. You will also get a follow-up email with a link to the recording sometime next week. And that is it for this one. Thank you so much to Julian. Thank you all for joining us. And of course, thank you for choosing DevExpress. Bye-bye.